Hey everyone, and welcome back to Motivation Library. You know how this works. We take a deep dive into the best books out there so you can maximize your time and get right to the good stuff. And today we're taking a look at a book that promises to, well, change everything. Attitude is Everything by Keith Harrell.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, me too. And
It really seems like it's more than just, your typical self-help. It's
it
about
really is.
taking action.
Right, and it's packed with real-life stories. I mean, who wouldn't want to know about, how to unlock that kind of power?
Oh, for sure. And one of the things that really grabbed my attention right away was how Keith Harrell actually defines attitude. He doesn't see it as just like a feeling that comes and goes. He says it's like interwoven into everything you do.
It's like your most prized possession.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that analogy because it makes you think you should be taking care of your attitude, like you take care of your car or, your body.
It needs maintenance like anything else.
Right.
Like a car needs a tune-up.
Right.
Our bodies need regular checkups. Our attitudes need a little TLC too.
Definitely. And the author uses a great example
Yeah.
to illustrate this point.
Oh, yeah.
The story of Northern Cousins.
Okay.
And
I'm not familiar.
So Cousins was diagnosed with this life-threatening illness, and a lot of people would just give up, but he chose to immerse himself in laughter. He watched funny movies, read humorous book, and get this, his condition actually started to improve.
Oh, wow.
Just from laughter.
That's pretty powerful.
It's powerful, and it really shows how powerful that connection is between our mind and body.
Mind-body connection. Yeah, for sure.
If laughter can have that kind of impact on our physical health, imagine what a positive attitude can do in all areas of our lives.
Absolutely.
So this leads us to another key point, that we have the power to choose our attitude.
Yeah, and it's not
always easy.
No, it's not always easy, but it's
It's
definitely
a choice.
that we can make.
Right, in any given moment.
Carol uses the example of Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, and his battle with cancer and this incredible comeback to win the Tour de France.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was facing a life-threatening illness, but he chose to focus on hope and possibility.
Wow.
And ultimately, he triumphed.
That's amazing.
It really is.
It's a reminder that even when we think things are out of control, we can choose how we respond.
Yeah, and it's not about being happy all the time, right?
Right.
Like, Harold doesn't...
He's not saying 24/7, like you have to be ecstatic all the time.
It's more about recognizing those small doses of joy.
Yeah, those little moments.
Right, and making that conscious effort to shift our perspective, even when things are tough.
That's right.
And he actually talks about how...
And I liked how he was.
After his own NBA dreams were crushed.
Right. He
fell into a negative spiral.
Yeah, he wasn't always like this.
He was painting icicles in Alaska.
Yeah.
Definitely not the glamorous life he had
Yeah, I don't
envisioned.
Yeah.
But it was a turning point for him.
Yeah, right? He realized he was the one choosing to be a victim
After
of his circumstances.
We all carry baggage, right?
Yeah, we do.
And Harold talks about how that baggage can hold us back
Oh, yeah.
from reaching a potential.
For sure.
He categorizes it into 3 types. If only baggage from the past.
Okay.
What now anxieties of the present.
Okay.
And what if fears about the future.
Right, those what ifs.
It's a framework for understanding where our negativity comes from.
Yeah, for sure.
Because once we understand the root of the problem,
Yeah, then you can start to address it.
then we can start to address it.
Right.
And he gives a story about his college basketball coach
Oh, okay.
who had such a negative attitude
Oh, no.
that it actually hindered the team's performance.
Really?
It really highlights how our attitudes can impact
Wow.
not just ourselves, but the people around us as well.
For sure.
We all have those people in our lives, the energy vampires,
Yes,
who
absolutely.
just drain the positivity
Yeah.
out of any room they enter.
Right? It's contagious almost.
Harold then dives into some of the common causes of bad attitudes, low self-esteem, stress, fear, and even the inability to handle change.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where self-awareness becomes so crucial.
Self-awareness is key.
It's about recognizing our own limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
those negative thought patterns that might be holding us back.
Right, because until we acknowledge them, we can't change them.
Exactly. And one of the things I found really helpful was how Harold talks about changing your perspective.
Oh, yeah.
He shares this funny anecdote about yelling at a woman who hit his car in traffic.
Oh, I think I remember this one.
So he's fuming, ready to give her a piece of his mind.
Yeah.
And she blows him a kiss.
Oh, no.
And his anger just melts away.
Wow.
It's such a simple example, but it shows how a shift in perspective
It can totally.
change our emotional state.
Absolutely.
He also tells a story about his grandmother helping him reframe his parents' divorce.
Okay.
It shows how changing our viewpoint can lighten even the heaviest burdens.
That's a good one.
So we've talked about the power of choice, understanding our baggage, and the importance of shifting our perspective.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
But I'm curious to hear more about those 3 Ps that Harrell says contribute to a bad attitude. What are they all about?
Okay, yeah, the 3 Ps. So he says that a lot of our negativity stems from believing that bad luck is permanent, pervasive, and personal.
So if we believe something negative is permanent, we're basically saying it's going to last forever.
Yeah,
And that can lead to hopelessness and giving up.
it can. And pervasive means that you think that one negative event is going to affect everything else.
Oh, like if you spill your coffee in the morning,
Yeah,
you just know the whole day is going to be a disaster.
exactly. And then personal is just taking everything personally, blaming yourself for things
Right.
that are out of your control.
And it can make you feel like you're constantly failing,
Yeah, definitely.
even when it's not your fault.
Right.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It really is.
But by recognizing these 3 Ps
Right,
and
and-
challenging those beliefs,
Yeah,
we can start to break free from those negative thought patterns.
that's right.
And that's where forgiveness comes in, right?
Yes, definitely.
Harrell argues that letting go of blame, hurt, and anger opens up space for forgiveness and gratitude,
Yeah,
which are essential for cultivating a positive attitude.
for sure.
He shares his own story about finally telling his father, "I love you,"
Okay.
and how it transformed their relationship.
Oh,
It's a beautiful reminder that taking that first step towards forgiveness
yeah,
can lead to incredible healing and growth.
it can.
And even when it's difficult,
Mm.
forgiveness is ultimately about reclaiming our personal power.
Yeah, taking back control.
Right. We stop being tethered to the past,
Right.
and we can move forward with a lighter heart.
Exact.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, understanding our attitude, the power of choice, identifying those limiting beliefs, and the importance of forgiveness.
Yes, definitely.
But how do we translate all of this into action?
That's the big question.
How do we start living a life where our attitude truly is everything?
I think that's what we're going to talk about next, right?
Yeah, we're going to delve into Harrell's attitude toolkit
Okay, I like it.
and uncover those specific strategies and tools he provides for turning those positive thoughts into tangible actions.
That's awesome.
Stay tuned, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. So we've laid the groundwork. We've talked about how our attitudes can really shape our experiences.
Yeah.
But now let's get to the practical stuff.
Okay.
How do we turn that positive mindset into action?
Yeah, how do we take action?
And that's where Keith Harrell provides this attitude toolkit.
Okay, I like that, a toolkit.
Yeah, so where do we start?
Well, I think one of the first things he talks about is the importance of purpose and passion.
Yeah.
Finding what you're passionate about.
Finding your purpose.
And he talks about how he was at IBM
Yeah,
and, kind of felt unfulfilled
right.
until he found his passion for training and public speaking.
It's about aligning our actions with what lights us up.
Yes, exactly.
Having that fire in your belly
that drive.
that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning
Yeah.
and really make a difference.
Right. And that passion is what fuels our actions.
Right.
And helps us achieve our goals.
And speaking of goals, Harrell offers some really practical advice on how to set them effectively.
Okay.
He suggests creating work-life and private life game plans
Oh, interesting.
and breaking down those big, daunting goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Right. Bite-sized pieces.
Right. He provides specific examples.
Okay, good. Because sometimes that's what you need.
Right. So we've identified our passions. We've set our goals now.
Okay, so he talks about affirmations, those positive statements that we can use to reprogram our subconscious mind.
So instead of saying, "I'm terrible at public speaking,"
Right.
you'd say, "I'm a confident and engaging speaker."
Exactly. It's about shifting our inner dialogue.
Right.
From negative to positive.
Right. And he also talks about visualization,
Visualization.
mentally rehearsing success to improve performance and reduce anxiety.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes use this technique, right?
Oh, they do.
Visualizing winning the race or scoring the goal.
Yeah.
But it's something we can all benefit from,
Oh, for sure.
whether we're preparing for a presentation or just trying to navigate a challenging situation.
Exactly.
So we're visualizing success, we're repeating our affirmations, and we're taking those steps toward our goals.
Uh-huh.
What else can we add to our toolkit?
Well, he talks about being preactive.
Preactive.
Yeah, it's kind of like anticipating potential challenges.
Okay.
And planning your responses in advance.
So you're prepared for anything life throws your way.
Yes, exactly.
I like that.
He actually tells this story about when he had to give a big presentation at IBM.
Okay.
And he had to follow Debbie Fields,
Oh, wow. Talk about pressure.
the founder of Mrs. Fields Cookies.
Yeah.
Talk about pressure, but because he was so well prepared
Right.
and, had thought about what could go wrong,
Right.
he was able to stay calm and deliver a really powerful speech.
So this preactive mindset isn't just for big events.
No, not at all.
It's something we can apply
everyday life.
Yeah, to our everyday lives.
Yeah.
Okay, all of this is great for individual growth and development.
Right.
But Harrell also talks about the importance of building an A-team.
The A-team, yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, he stresses that we can't do it all alone. We need a network of supportive people to help us stay positive
Yeah.
and, get through those challenges.
Absolutely. Having a strong support system
Yes.
is crucial.
Especially when things are tough or you're trying to reach those big goals.
Yeah. And he says building an effective A-team starts with us.
Right.
We have to be the kind of friend we want to attract.
Yeah.
We have to offer unconditional friendship, trust,
Right.
and a service-oriented mindset.
And focus on adding value to others' lives.
Right. Be that friend who's always there to lend a helping hand.
Exactly.
So it's about attracting like-minded individuals
Yeah.
who share our values
Right.
and are committed to personal growth.
Yes.
But how do we go about building this A-team?
Well, he encourages us to be proactive.
Okay.
Seek out those connections.
Yeah.
Join a group or a club, something that aligns with your interests. Volunteer in your community.
Right.
Or reach out to people that you admire.
Okay.
And ask them for advice.
Yeah, and it's not just about surrounding ourselves with yes people.
No, definitely not. He talks about how constructive criticism is so much better than empty praise. He tells a story about how, he gave this big presentation, he got a standing ovation, but he still felt like something was off.
Okay.
So he asked one of his colleagues for some honest feedback.
Wow.
And it wasn't all, positive, but it was exactly what he needed to hear
Right.
to grow.
That takes courage.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just surround ourselves with people that tell us what we want to hear.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But true growth comes from being open to that feedback, even if it's uncomfortable.
That's right.
And just as important as knowing who to include in your A-team,
Uh-huh.
Harrell also talks about the types of people to avoid,
Yes.
like those energy vampires.
Yeah, he calls them professional victims. Like
Okay.
the people who always blame others, never take responsibility for their own actions.
Right, and he cautions against those with bitter attitude.
Yeah, stay away.
Yeah, they drain your positivity and leave you feeling depleted.
Right.
It's about being mindful of the company. We keep recognizing that negativity can be contagious.
Absolutely.
So we've got our A-team assembled. We're practicing those tools from the fuel kit.
Yes.
But life throws curveballs.
Yeah, it does.
How do we handle those inevitable changes and challenges?
Well, that's where his whatever it takes attitude comes in.
Whatever it
He
takes.
says, embrace change.
Okay.
Don't see it as threat, but an opportunity for growth.
Easier said than done, right?
It is. Change can be scary.
Yeah.
But he gives some practical advice for navigating those transitions.
Okay.
He talks about the 4 most common responses to change: shifting into neutral, becoming defensive, giving up, and the most empowering response, adopting a positive attitude.
So it's about recognizing that we have a choice in how we respond to change.
Yeah,
We can resist it, fear it,
right.
or we can embrace it as a catalyst for growth.
Exactly. And he gives 10 specific strategies for embracing change.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he talks about focusing on your strength, keeping your long-term goals in mind,
Yeah.
breaking those big changes into smaller steps,
Okay.
avoiding learned helplessness.
Learn helplessness.
Yeah, that feeling that no matter what you do, nothing's going to change.
Right.
And he says, celebrate your past successes.
Right. Use those as motivation.
Yeah, exactly. And, lean on your A team
Of
for
course.
support
Right.
during those tough times.
It's a powerful reminder that we're not alone in this journey.
That's right.
Change is inevitable, but with the right attitude and a strong support system, we can navigate those transitions
Yeah,
with grace and resilience.
for sure.
This is all so empowering.
It is.
But I'm curious, where do we go from here?
Yeah, what's the ultimate goal?
What's the ultimate goal of cultivating with attitude is everything mindset?
That's a great question, and I think that leads us perfectly into the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
where we'll explore the idea of legacy
Legacy.
and how we can use our positive attitudes
Okay.
to make a lasting impact on the world.
Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into attitude is everything. We've covered so much, understanding the power of attitude, building our A-teams, and equipping ourselves with this toolkit of strategies.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
It has, but what's the ultimate goal of all this? Where do we go from here?
That's a great question, and it's something that Harrell really focuses on in the final chapters of this book. He talks about legacy,
Okay.
using our positive attitudes to really make a lasting impact.
So it's not just about personal transformation then.
No, it's bigger.
It's about making a difference.
Exactly. He says one of the most powerful ways to cultivate a positive attitude is to shift our focus outward,
Okay.
to embrace this idea of service and contribution.
He shares a story about attending a conference and feeling a bit lost, like he had lost sight of his purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a conversation with Pastor Creflo Dollar that really sparked a shift in his perspective.
Interesting. And what did Pastor Dollar say?
He reminded Harrell that true fulfillment comes from using our gifts to serve others,
Okay.
to make a positive impact on the world.
So it's about recognizing that our talents aren't just for us.
Right.
They're meant to be shared.
It's like that saying, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Right.
And Harrell goes on to share the story of Pastor Dollar's ministry, World Changers Church International,
Okay.
which is dedicated to empowering people and transforming communities.
That's awesome.
It's a perfect example of how a positive attitude and that commitment to service can create a ripple effect of positive change.
You can really see how one person's vision can inspire so many.
Yeah, and make such a difference in the world.
Absolutely.
And you know what's encouraging is that we don't have to be a pastor or a CEO to make an impact.
Right.
We can start right where we are
Well,
with small acts of kindness,
exactly.
generosity, compassion,
It all adds up.
whether it's volunteering our time, donating to a worthy cause,
Right.
or just offering a helping hand to someone in need.
It all matters.
Every act of service contributes to a more positive and loving world.
And as we cultivate this attitude of service, we start to experience more gratitude in our own lives.
Yeah, we begin to appreciate the abundance that surrounds us
Yeah.
and feel a deeper sense of connection to something larger than ourselves.
It's a beautiful cycle. Service leads to gratitude.
Right.
Gratitude fuels a positive attitude.
Yeah.
And a positive attitude empowers us to give back even more.
It all comes back to attitude.
It really does.
It shapes our experiences, influences our actions,
Yeah.
and ultimately determines the legacy we leave behind.
Powerful stuff.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It really has.
Attitude is Everything really lives up to its name.
It does.
It's full of practical tools and inspiring stories
Yeah,
that can help us transform our lives and make a positive impact on the world.
I completely agree.
And for those of you listening, we'd love to hear your thoughts on Attitude is Everything. What resonated with you the most? What actions are you inspired to take? Share your takeaways in the comments below.
Yeah, we love hearing from you.
And if you're ready to explore more books that can empower you to live a more fulfilling life, be sure to subscribe to Motivation Library.
We have a whole library of deep dives waiting for you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for remembering.
And remember, see you next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.